We begin tonight with breaking news at UC Irvine. Police have issued an unlawful assembly order and have started making arrests as pro-Palestinian protests there escalate. Good evening, I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Anna Laurel in for Carlo Cicchetto. Protesters set up an encampment and surrounded a physical sciences lecture hall. The UCI Divest group is also demanding UC Irvine rescind suspension notices handed out last week to some students involved in protests. Small skirmishes have been seen between protesters and counter-protesters, and multiple law enforcement agencies are on campus right now. We're going to bring you any developments here and on all our online platforms as we get them.
Families in a southeast San Diego neighborhood say they feel like they've been forgotten when it comes to removing overhead power lines.
One homeowner says he's waited 30 years for the city to move the power lines underground. CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you to find out what's going on and what the process is to remove those power poles.
Mr. Young says that his Skyline neighborhood has been on the wait list for decades to move these power lines underground. We're working for you to find out what's the delay and when these power poles will come down.
The Young family moved to Sycamore Road in Skyline south of the 94, 1995.
Almost 29 years now.
Since then,
well over 30 years, and we still have not got a solid answer or resolution on why that this side of the street does not have the underground cable done.
In 1985, the power lines on the east side of the street were removed when the Southeastern Police Station was built. Today, a new fire station is under construction on the Young side of the street, but the lines have only been removed in front of the construction site.
We're hoping that when they do the final development of Engine 51, that this underground cable will be included in there.
Young's family reached out to CBS 8's Working for You, and I got to work and I started at the City of San Diego's Utilities Underground Program website and found this section of Sycamore Road in yellow is in the allocation phase.
We had contacted all our representatives. We had sent a letter to San Diego Gas and Electric, and they said that we're on the waiting list, and this will be another 10 years before things have happened.
I reached out to SDG&E, and they told me that they assisted moving the lines, but it's a City of San Diego project. A rep from the city's Utilities Underground Program responded via email saying that many projects are in what's called the allocation phase, and it's normal for there to be a long waiting period. The cost for line removal projects can cost roughly $20 million. Last year, the mayor and city leaders celebrated a milestone by removing the last power pole in La Jolla Shores. The city says that it moves about 15 miles of overhead utility lines underground annually.
You hear about Southeast San Diego, it's kind of like a negative thing, but this community is a strong community.
Mr. Young hopes the Skyline area gets to benefit the same way that other neighborhoods do.
We care about this community. It's got to be a little frustrating to say that going on 30 years and we're still waiting for these underground cables to be completed.
If you'd like to check out any projects or the status of the City of San Diego's underground power projects, go to cbs8.com and click on the help button. Working for you in Skyline, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Thanks so much, Abby. Here at CBS 8, we want to help solve problems that affect you and your community. If there's an issue you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Fire investigators are trying to determine what caused a fire at a car dealership in Kearny Mesa. It broke out just after 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Volvo dealership on Kearny Mesa Boulevard, just south of Claremont Mesa Boulevard. The fire damaged multiple vehicles and some of the dealership itself. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. So far, there's been no word on estimated damage.
New testimony today in the double murder trial of a former TikTok influencer. It details disturbing messages sent in the days leading up to the shooting. Ali Abulaban is accused of killing his wife and another man inside an East Village apartment back in 2021. CBS 8's Shannon Handy shows us what happened today in court.
A lot of what was presented in court today is tough to hear. The prosecution presented several audio and text messages Abulaban sent his wife. Many of them are so graphic, we can't share them in their entirety.
I am the best man you ever met, and you're the dumbest I ever devoted my life to. You are the dumbest. I wish we never had a kid together because of how stupid you are.
Audio messages Ali Abulaban sent his wife Anna in the days leading up to her death were full of name-calling, cuss words, and references to other women.
She sees the value in me, unlike your dumb. And I can't wait to divorce you so I can start my new life.
At one point, Abulaban laughed as they were played. Later on, he appeared uncomfortable, telling his attorney to turn it off. Ricardo Escalante, a former homicide detective with San Diego police, was in charge of analyzing cell phone data as it relates to this case. He testified the examples displayed in court were just a small portion of the disparaging data he found.
There were dozens and dozens of audio messages, texting with this general vibe of where are you, who are you with, what are you doing, vile, disparaging names constantly.
In addition to audio messages, Escalante spoke about Abulaban's internet search history, which included disturbing images.
He's looking up chopped bodies, decapitated head cartel graphic.
Escalante also read text messages and emails exchanged between Abulaban and Anna. Some were sent following incidents of domestic violence.
You were the only one there for me, and I hurt you. I could never forgive myself.
In September, 1 month before the killings, Anna sent Abulaban a message telling him she was done with their marriage.
I need to move on and get back on my feet. You've dragged me down enough.
Prosecutors say on the morning of the shooting, Abulaban returned to the apartment he and Anna once shared and vandalized the unit. He's also accused of installing an app on their 5-year-old daughter's iPad that allowed him to monitor live audio. While listening to the app later that day, Abulaban overheard his wife and Rayburn Barron, a man he suspected she had been seen, talking and laughing. That's when police say he drove to the complex and opened fire on the victims as they sat on a couch. A neighbor's Nest camera captured audio of the shooting. Abulaban's defense doesn't deny he committed the killings, but argue he wasn't thinking rationally due to the collapse of his marriage and the effect it had on his mental health. A lot more was presented in court today, including a picture Abulaban took of the victims after they were shot, as well as audio of the attack. This trial is expected to last through next week. Abulaban is expected to testify. Reporting from downtown, I'm Shanna Handy for CBS 8.
All right, Shannon, thank you. It's now up to the state Supreme Court to decide the fate of Proposition 22. Voters passed the controversial ballot measure 2 years ago. It classifies delivery and rideshare drivers as independent contractors rather than employees. Critics say people who drive for services like Uber and Lyft are deprived of benefits. Well, under Prop 22, contractors get earning guarantees, a 35-cent per mile reimbursement, and a health care stipend when working a certain number of hours. A state Supreme Court is set to hear this next week in San Francisco.
There is now a third confirmed case of measles here in San Diego County.
The county announced a 13-month-old child who recently traveled overseas was just diagnosed with the disease. CBS 8's Kelly Hesdall spoke to a doctor at Rady Children's Hospital. She shares what you need to know to protect yourself.
Well, measles is highly contagious. That 13-month-old child actually was here at Rady's on Monday, so they're alerting anyone who happened to be here at Rady's on Monday in the emergency room from 10:30 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. They potentially could have been exposed.
I want people to be aware, but don't be too scared.
Dr. Edmund Milder is a pediatric infectious disease specialist at Rady Children's Hospital.
Can you still get measles if you're vaccinated?
Yeah, so the vaccine has been an incredible success. The 2 doses of vaccine are about 99% effective. So that's not 100%. So we do see when you have a lot of exposures, there'll be some breakthrough infection even in people that were vaccinated.
But he says the majority of measles cases nationwide are people who are unvaccinated, and most are travel related. Since February, there have been 3 confirmed cases in San Diego County. The first one, an infant who was not vaccinated. The second, a 47-year-old person whose vaccination status is unknown. The disease spreads through the air, getting into the smallest particles when someone sneezes or coughs.
If somebody with measles is in a room and leaves, up to 2 hours later, if you go into that room, you could still get measles from that person. So it's really a great test of our immunity, because if somebody with measles enters the community, they will expose a lot of people.
He says so far there haven't been any secondary infections in San Diego. Symptoms include fever, cough, runny nose, and red eyes. A distinctive rash usually develops 1 to 4 days after you start to see symptoms. Though death is very rare, Dr. Milder says parents should be aware this is not a mild infection.
Luckily, most people will make a full recovery, but even so, it's a pretty bad viral infection. So high fevers are common up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. kids feel really miserable. So there's a lot of missed school, missed work for parents that's going to be involved.
And so doctors say the best way to protect yourself is to get fully vaccinated. Now, if you're planning to travel, especially with young children who maybe only have one dose, he says talk to your doctor about getting that second dose. If you want more information about all of the 3 cases here in San Diego County, just go to CBS8.com and click on this story. Kelly Hessedal, CBS 8.
All right, Kelly, thank you. A new partnership will guarantee a spot at Cal State University San Marcos to graduates from the San Diego Unified School District. Now, there is certain criteria students need to meet. Students must have been enrolled in SD/USD schools from at least 9th grade and meet minimum CSU eligibility requirements while graduating with a GPA of 3.0 or higher. The class of 2025 will be eligible to apply. The class of 2024 is upset about that. Disappointed.
Still ahead, the California town overrun by wild chickens, and that's just the way people there like it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this. Plus, on the Day of Giving at the Helen Woodward Animal Center, we will introduce you to the 6-month-old Shepherd blend who's making every day count.
Didn't see much of that sunshine unless you were in the mountains or the desert for today. This is the view above all that cloud cover, but we'll see a little bit more of that afternoon sunshine by tomorrow. I'll tell you why coming up.
And up next, why we're seeing more tuna crabs along our coast.